And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Frostpunk 2 in our attempt at going deathless on steward difficulty in the main campaign here. So we've arrived at the main city of New London, and there we need new coal deposits for chapter 1. We need so we can turn the generator back on, and we need to get housing under control. Something from the previous run that I now know is that we do start with a stockpile of materials and a stockpile of food. Technically, I knew that already, but I'd forgotten how unimportant it is to fix those problems very early on. We start with a glut of prefabs, although that will run out pretty quickly. And we don't start with a lot of heat stamps. So early on here, I probably want to build districts, not build buildings. Plus, we don't have a lot of buildings unlocked. So early on, we're going to frost break because we want to get to the coal over here. So you can get all those coal in one run. We should be able to get all those ones in one run as well. So we do that for the frost breaking. We need to get all our housing requirements. I will need 4 districts. So let's get 4 housing districts going. Taking advantage of the shelter from the wind modifiers and proximity to the generator to make them warmer. So we can get 2 or 1.5 temperature bonus on the initial build out, and then when we do the expand for +3 size on them, we'll get them up to 2 each for the warmth, which is why I'm building the way I'm building them. That's food district, housing district. There we go. So that should be enough housing. I need to frost break down to you. Let's get the prefab up as well. Prefab gather up as well. So we can get those prefabs harvested. And then we'll unpause. Oh, let's actually interact with these guys first. So I want you. I'm going to promote you right away. And we're going to mobilize enforcers. So the radical factions will have one ability you can always use if they have the highest tier of happiness. So while they're the highest tier, we almost always want to use that ability. And we will later on probably raise funds from them. My goal right now for the first election is that we should pass it without having to bribe the factions to do what we want. But I am going to do, I think, how it's kind of recommended by the quest line, which is get the call online first, before we start the first council mission. Right, there's no prodding here to open the council. We do need to do it eventually, otherwise they will complain, is my understanding. And eventually we do want to vote on some laws. We'll have some problems if we don't vote on the laws. Early on, we're going to do buildings associated with our, or not buildings, laws associated with a radical faction, and I'm actually going to do the buildings associated with the opposite side. I'm planning on actually siding with the opposite side, which is why we're going to do the buildings with the one that we're going to keep. But the laws, we're going to do with the one we can't. Or the laws, the ones that we aren't going to. Click, click, click. I miscount. I did. Wrong way. There we go. So that gets those coal deposits going. And then I need 1 clear over to these guys. And then I want another one over to these. There we go. 6 should be enough. So we can get those prefabs extracted. Okay. And yeah, we want the first coal district so we can have the city warm. Right now the factions are unhappy because they want to be warm. They want the districts to be warm, so we... Well, actually, at the moment they're not unhappy because the districts don't exist. They have no districts to be unhappy about. But we're going to have the districts built before we get the council chamber, so we want those districts to be warm. So our 4 districts are done, and they've all been, I believe, assigned... Yeah, they've all been assigned a faction. So factions care if their districts are warm.
We are calling you, steward.
Right now, I think our districts are currently... Yeah, they're all currently livable because of the neighbor bonuses we give them. It's good to see. And now we have everyone housed, so... First emergency problem solved. Second emergency problem is we need to get the generator on. We do have our frost breaking done, so we can get the prefab extraction depot going. And I'm going to want to do some frost breaking out to the old way stations for future quests. Oh, the frost break down there is done, so we can get that coal mine going as well. And the one with more deposits is the one where we're actually going to do the quest-assigned building it. Okay, so we got our first coal extraction district, so we first turn the generator on. Scraping the barrel. Good work, steward. We have secured a new coal deposit. It is the part of the last vein in New London. There are still some deposits left, but they won't last for long. We need to improve our mining to make use of it efficiently, but the city communities are voicing different ideas about how to do it. We need to decide whose ideas are worth pursuing. So I need to build a research institute. And the frost breaking isn't done yet. Okay. And then we'll distribute the warmth. And simply by warming these districts up, because of the neighbor bonus off of them, they are immediately livable and I can take the heat back. I'm going to want to make you warm. I'm going to make them warm, just to make them extract faster. Extraction districts get a speed boost if they are. And then I think frost breaking costs some heat stamps, so I'm going to have to slow down on the frost breaking for the moment, because we are low on heat stamps.
The steward appreciates all your adoring letters and will answer personally in due time.
Yeah, from a warmth standpoint, there isn't really a good reason right now to make any of the extraction districts more than chilly. In theory, we'll get some sickness from having them be chilly, but that'll be offset by people recovering in their housing at night. Because we have the housing up at warm. And for the moment, we're saving up for the council hall. Research Institute constructed. So we've got 2
Steward.
events here. The generator wakes, a child is born. So, for those that are in the know, the game is hypothetically in the background tracking the life of this child, Lily May. The actual gameplay doesn't really matter. We just get a short vignette on how their life went at the end.
Steward.
Different ideas, communities of New London. With a small crowd gathering outside the new Research Institute, arguing about how to exploit the last coal veins. The stalwarts and New Londoners want us to lean on machine power and mining, but the Frostlanders would have us pursue more frugal options. They would never display such discord under the captain's rule. You have to choose whom to entrust with developing their ideas. We'll decide later, because that also requires a new stamps. I have other priorities. We've got more fuel. Set you to livable, or set you to cold, set you to warm. And right now we're trying to save up for 80 heat stamps.
Steward.
Okay, this is going to make the vote a little bit harder, but I'm going to raise funds off of you. If I can get the council chamber going. That leaves me enough, actually, that I can go with our idea tree. Idea tree, we need new ideas to move forward. Yes. Actually, before I do this, Frostlanders. If I make you a promise, what would you like? You do not want any things I want. Fair. Okay. I want to build their coal mine, let's just say. So if they wanted their coal mine, I would research it, or I'd promise to do it for them and then do it. So we're going to do Dust Coal Mine here. Tension Miner because of the fear of running out of coal, and a little bit of cold in the extraction districts. And overall trust is tolerated due to opinions of the various factions. We have the council chamber. The first council session. The city decides. Anticipation fills the air as the council opens. The captain ruled with a firm hand for years, but those times died with him. Now the communities of the city want their say. The stalwarts maintained order on behalf of the captain and adhered to what they claim was his vision for New London: progress, merit, and reason. The New Londoners and Frostlanders clash over a survival strategy, though neither has a firm stance on economic or societal issues. Then there are those who view the stalwarts with contempt for their role in New London's history. But they keep to the shadows, for now. Based on your handling of the coal crisis, the first decision is whether you should maintain your role as steward. So this is based on the handling of the coal crisis. We hadn't actually hit the point in the main quest where it's prompting us to build the council room. We've brought it up a little bit earlier because I think I'm ready for this vote. The council. When you return to the council in the future, we will propose new laws to vote upon. But for now, a special vote needs to happen. The communities in New London have to accept you as their leader. Be careful. If you fail, this will be the end of your rule. And right now we got 28 for, 21 against, and 51 hesitants. When you're tolerated like this, the hesitants will split usually 50-50 in favor of whatever you're proposing. This is treated as if I'm proposing it, so it's going to split 50-50 in my favor. So we'll get about 25-26 extra votes from the hesitants, which will put us over the line here. So I don't need to negotiate here. We should just be able to hit the vote button. There is a little bit of noise on here, so there is a very small chance that RNG decides to just screw me here and we lose. I don't think it's going to screw me.
Hear ye,
There we go.
hear ye. The delegates have spoken.
Although the game's got to remind me,
takes
I'm
effect.
rolling the dice here. 51 and 51 votes. And I think it bugged out. As it does. Okay, I'm able to escape on that. That worked. There we go. So that's the first vote. And we were able to get through without having to promise anything. Although we do want to be making promises.
Steward.
So, new Londoners. I don't want to pass any of those, so we'll decline. What I'm fishing for... Actually, I suppose the stalwart's the only one that could give it to me. Stalwarts. What promises do you want me to provide? Infectious badge. Okay, no. Okay, so now our hate stamps for the short term can go to preparing for exploration. That's the minimum we need over there. That's the minimum I need over there. I might want a little bit more than the minimum, but we'll see. Anyway, right now we are running down the stockpile, so we will be out of food in 31 weeks. We'll be out of materials in 29. And both of those are probably going to get worse before they get better. I suppose I could speed it up, but the frostbreaking is going to finish here. Okay. Did the other one finish as well? Yes, the other one finished as well. So, for the logistics... Okay, I can get one going. I only really need one going at the moment, so we'll get the first one going. I will need to save up for a building, but we should be able to meet the target time. So let's go speed 2. Could probably go all the way to speed 3. We'll go speed 3.
The stalwarts encourage all citizens to join in their daily roll call.
Encourage all citizens to join the daily roll call. Drill Sergeant, Mine the Generator. It's good to have you back, old chap. It was a terrible fright to have you switched off. You're more than just a heat source for us, you know. Us, you're a symbol of what should be. Unbending, unyielding fortitude. May we all stand bold against the frost. The generator is revered and respected by the stalwarts. Okay. Simple event. Logistics district built. We now survey the frozen lands around New London and find a source of fuel to ensure its future. It's immediately kicking me out of the city, which I don't actually want to be yet. We're going to set this district to warm. It's going to cost a little bit extra fuel, but by doing that, we now have 20 teams instead of 15. These people are willing to sign up for working at the warm place. And now we zoom out. So we can get more arrivals. I don't need them yet. Out goes exploration to the 2 neighboring zones. Although we probably will want them soon. Let's not beat around the bush. And I've only got 800 spare workers. I will need more workers. Of course, when we go to bring them in, I will need more money. Because we'll be wanting to expand districts. Let's go speed 3 until the research is done, or until we have a quest. Or at least an event. Here's an event. Keep the warmth. District temperatures. This is a sort of a touralized event, reminding me that we can keep things warm. I'm going to deal with this later. I've selectively chosen to keep these 2 districts chilly, because it's increasing cold, but with everyone housed, that's not a problem. Keeping districts warm is reducing, or yeah, warm is reducing cold, so I'm not worried about that. It's increasing disease. We're small enough that disease isn't a problem, so I can ignore that for the moment. So I've got in 6 days we have the council. 2 weeks we have the research. So I'm gonna keep it on speed 1 here until we have the council vote. One thing we need to do if I want to keep mortality stable and have no deaths is we need a law on children so the children don't have a riot in the streets.
The delegates have gathered and will consider.
And will consider my first vote. Technically, we do have support here for going for rule because we have the stalwarts, but we're not going to go that right way. We're going to do childhood. Family apprentices, mandatory schooling. The stalwarts support mandatory schooling. We will propose this. Again, things that I propose on more tolerated will have the hesitant split 50-50. So this should be a vote that I don't need to get anyone on board with to pass. I should just be able to hit vote and it should pass.
Hear
There we go.
ye, hear ye. The
Although,
proposed law has
RNG is
been
deciding I need
approved.
to be a little bit more cautious than I would normally be because I am recording. It's got to get real close to not passing on the it should pass rolls.
A law has
But yeah, now the children won't
passed
kill
in
each
the
other because we're
council.
giving them school
Take
to go through.
heed.
I'll be teachers to stop the fights from going that badly. Dust coal mine. So I am going to go ask you,
Steward?
do you want to promise? And the reason is, because one of the things we can get from them is, hey, can you build us that dust coal mine you just researched? We want to do that, so we will agree to that as the promise. And then I will go and build the dust coal mine. As we promised. And then in return, I'd like you give me some heat stamps. And I will need those heat stamps. Because I do want to expand the city blocks. So you know rather later. In the meantime, which tech do I want to work on? Which problem do I want to solve? Heat utilization's tempting. Yeah, let's do heat utilization. Technically, this is a Frostlander tech, so the Frostlanders will be happy that we're having them research together. Okay, we're gonna go speed 3, get that building done. Fuel for the future. A lack of common rules among our people can lead to trouble, but as the council debates the future of the city, all concerns about the day our last coal deposit run out. We must explore the Frostland for more sources of fuel, or else the city will have no future at all. And we completed the demand for the Frostlanders for building that building. The Frostlanders are delighted you kept your word, and they'll look upon your rule more positively and consider you a leader with integrity. And then we need to go find a permanent source of fuel outside the city. We'll try to avoid the worst of things in the city. At this point, I think it's probably worth bringing these districts up to livable. And then we'll continue stockpiling coal past that point. So I suppose I can free up a little bit of labor by adding a fuel stockpile. 20% reduced workforce requirement for the... Well, I think it's 20 on one, it's a little bit less anyway. That should save us some workforce.
Children caught idling during school hours will be
Okay, that
punished.
finished up. So I now have 480 workers. I think that cost 15 and saving us 130. That 80.
recess has ended.
The recess for the council has ended, so we can do that again. Rupert Bowl, used furnace salesman. Filling an envelope with heat stamps. I'm glad the stewards thinks the world of us. I am. Kind of wish it was cheaper is all. It's bloody hell transparent. Apply charm, collect heat stamps, rinse and repeat. Still, despite the swindler, admire the swindle. The stewards got the make of an entrepreneur. Too bad, we're the ones getting fleeced. There was a couple steps in between those two. Game's calling me out for raising funds off of them after promoting them. Okay. So, let's see. What laws do you want? Research, teaching hospital, harvesting funerals. We're going to do harvesting funerals next. Yes, because again, we'll have a tension law. Haven't dealt with the ethics of funerals. So that's the next one up. And again, we're going to propose that. And again, I shouldn't have to do anything for this to pass. It should just pass. The alternative, however, is I could give something to the New Londoners. They want mass-produced goods. Let's say that we will go for that next. And then that makes that a guaranteed vote, and then they can be appeased for keeping my promise.
The delegates have spoken. The law takes effect.
Just farming this trust, farming this opinion, so we have the money to deal with problems. I think the next thing we'll do is I'm going to spend these heat stamps, get our districts expanded. For the temperature bonuses just before the cold sets in. This will also leave me with some space that I can use to bring in some immigrants. We know there's some immigrants waiting outside the city that I need my scouts to come back to collect. And future expansion cities are going to require more workforce. There's our exploration, just about finishing the background.
A new has been charted.
A new territory has been charted, is what it's saying in the background there. In fact, 2 have been charted. So, out in the barren foothills, we have the rusted engine, the jettisoned secondary engine of the Dreadnought. Under its hull, we found a core, an irreproducible component from before the frost that we can use to power our most advanced technology. Fissures in the ice suggest the Dreadnought traveled to the frozen bay a long time ago. So we're going to dismantle it for the 2 cores. Takes up 5 of our teams, temporarily. The old observatory. We're going to hold it out until we can convince them all to come back. We also don't need them that desperately. We're not rushing for people. The abandoned coal mine. The mining complex inhabited by children a long time ago. Over the years, they grew older and became citizens of New London. The last miners were ordered home by the captain, but we know some of the coal remains in the shafts. The approach trail is in poor condition. But we found a warehouse with prefabs the captain intended to use to improve it. We could take them or we'd leave them in place if we want to use the mine again. We want to keep the prefabs in place to use the mine again. Out in the frozen bay, we have the fishing village, so we can take the Frostlanders in. Community Frostlanders are eking out a pitiful living off moss and small fish. With no furnace, they survive by sleeping shoulder to shoulder under thick layers of fur. They would undoubtedly prefer to live in New London, so we can come and get them and then the others. In a cavern near the bay, we found a disturbing sight. The bodies in sturdy Frostpunk gear, neatly laid side by side, left to freeze, with black oil markings over their closed eyes. A ghastly burial ritual? A map we found suggests they are heading towards an old machine somewhere by the desolate coast. The machine would require a source of fuel. We should investigate. So, that is the desolate coast. We'll launch an expedition there to advance the main quest, and then we will get the makeshift shelter people here. Overpopulation, dwindling fuel reserves forced many residents of New London to take refuge in these temporary shelters built around a small hot spring. Its inhabitants wait for conditions to improve enough for them to return, and it is time. Send the 5 remaining Frostland teams to collect that 2.6k people. Because if everything is going according to plan, we should soon have the housing for them. Here we are. It's done. We have 34 levels of housing left. I think we should be... I forget which difficulty level. Oh, actually, that is not quite enough. I am 4 short. Well, that's a bit shame. So that means I need to build another housing district already. I was hoping to get away without having to build one quite so soon. Especially because I'm low on heat stamps. Well, we go hat in hand to the one faction we haven't asked for money. Hey, New Londoners, can I have some money? Thank you. Okay, so when that's done, we'll have enough housing. In the meantime, let's grab the other logistics depot. So I can start to set stuff up in the Frostlands with more crew. And then I think the food problem is more an emergency issue than the materials problem, so let's get some food extraction.
The
Research
Research
increases
Institute
relations.
has concluded its latest task and is for its next priority.
Okay, Research Council has completed its next task and is ready for its next priority. I don't necessarily appreciate that the voice lines get partially muted when you pause the game, because you want to respond to the voice line, or what the voice line is responding to usually when they're happening. Okay, so heat utilization's done. Do heating hub installation, but that actually requires to build heating hubs to really benefit from. I need squalor containment. Don't want to do advanced coal mines. I think the next thing here would be housing insulation, but we'll hold off a little bit on that. Are you interested in any buildings? Particularly food-related buildings. Research the biowaste hothouse. Yes. That is disease rather than squalor and temperature down as the drawback, which is kind of what we prefer. It's even more food as well, so it's definitely the one we want to go for. Although it is more labor. We have an event. Infectious agents, the first crack. Steward during a routine medical examination performed by the stalwarts. A small group of Frostlanders refused to be assessed. These checkups are relics of years past when a cough could endanger the city. That is gone now. We have adapted, one said. No point continuing this invasion of privacy. The stalwarts maintain that regular physicals help ensure the safety of the workers. It is vital we monitor our citizens' health when foremen push back. We've had epidemics in the past. We mustn't allow another one. So we can allow it, or ban it, or not interfere. So for the moment, we're going to allow it because the faction that would oppose this decision doesn't yet exist. It will start them off a little grumpy. I think we can work with that. Oh, I got my 10 teams back. Actually, I'm going to hold on to the 10 teams until we have the temperature down, because that's actually going to yoink 5 the moment it happens from both locations. I'm going to want to warm them back up to get the 5 back at each location. Oh, it's not going to yoink 5, or it's going to yoink 5 only, because the second one hasn't actually been played out. So as for the moment, let's actually watch the second one. The second one's all I care about. I care about that progress bar. Okay, colder season.
Wrap up well. The frost is here.
Wrap up well. The frost is here. And once again, we're going to leave the fuel districts at Chile. We're going to make the places that are arguably temporary warm besides the fuel ones, because they'll go away eventually. Okay, so we're running a little bit of fuel deficit, although that is fine for the moment. So back out to exploration here. So we're working on exploring Desolation Coast. I would like... Oh, actually, that probably wants to wait until we get you done. Well, let's actually explore the other place we can explore safely, which is the approach. Until we get that place, until we get the exploration of the logistics depot complete. Like we're at a different camera angle for some reason. There we go. Do you just get happy for some reason?
Honorable steward.
Too early for that. Too early for raise funds. Okay. So you are done. I want you to be warm. And then we're going to put that warmth to use. So I want to set up a trail from the abandoned coal mine. There we go. And then I have 10 Frostland teams that at the moment are going to sit idle. The coal mine is going to require a constant supply of 10 of them. And that is going to actually solve our heating problems in the short run, so that's good. Another event.
Steward.
Stockpiles depleted. Stewards, the stockpiles of materials the captain has gathered have run out. After so many years, our resources in the pit are growing barren. Current output will satisfy some of the demand, but problems will mount over time. We must reach for new deposits, otherwise the city and us will suffer. Okay, so it's reminding me that we're going to start gaining squalor if we don't do something about that. Well, a little bit of squalor isn't too bad. Get a little bit more warmth for you, and that is immediate. This is nice. Save some fuel there. Same over here. We're gonna expand a view. Which again means that you are warmer than you need to be. Those expands should help us with trying to keep the food deficit from becoming too severe. And I need more workers. Okay. Are you full size? You're not full size. You're going to expand. So I've got housing. That'll be coming for people. That also saves you some fuel. Trail construction going and an exploration going. Annoyingly doesn't give us a progress report on how far the trail construction is going. We are technically seeing the progress on the exploration.
A new council session is now in order.
A new council session is now in order. We've already agreed for what the next law will be, which is mass-produced goods. We are going to propose that, and 2 of our 3 factions support that, so that is a law that is guaranteed to pass unless we actively vote against it. In fact, we've got too many promises, we can't even act against it, so it's passing. Mass-proposed goods. Here we go.
The votes are in. The measure passes.
75 votes for. New Londoners demand met. The New Londoners are delighted you kept your word. They now look upon your rule more positively and consider you a leader with integrity.
The delegates have reached a decision. A new law takes hold.
Steward.
Still too early to ask for you to hand over Mead Santiano. 15 weeks. We've got them happy enough. They're definitely on board with providing them at this point.
Steward.
7 weeks for that. Okay, so the trail is done. With the trail, we're now gathering coal from here. This will last 250 weeks. There is a technology we'll complete later on that will allow us to get coal from here indefinitely. For those of you who are in the know, you know which tech path or which faction we're going to favor come Chapter 2, based on the fact that I'm saying that we'll be able to get infinite coal from that deposit. It's also very worthless if you're going the other tech path, because you're not that interested in coal. Could potentially go for more people. Do I want more people? No, I'm going to wait until we get the research here done. Because I need more housing if we're going to go more people, and I don't necessarily want to keep building housing districts. Sue Miller doing her reading assignment. The rabbit took a watch out of its waistcoat pocket. Ah, this rabbit is silly. Gotta ask the teacher what a rabbit is. Reading is hard, but it's fun, Mabel says. That it won't help her much in the Frostland. She wants to be a scout one day. Well, good luck reading the maps, is what I told her. One day I'll write books myself of honey princes and no snow. The mandatory school promises a better future for the children of the city. It helps to be able to read the maps after all. Frostlanders' demand met. We researched what they want.
Have completed their project.
Completed their latest project. Okay. And we've got food for 2 weeks. Might be nice to have food forever. Let's once again see if the Frostlanders have a useful promise. Build a biowaste hothouse. That's what we want to do. Food. I need 80 heat stamps for that. We'll have that in a week. Unless someone is willing to fork over some money right now. I gotta wait 12 weeks to fork over money, so we're gonna be slow boating it until we have the money. So we're gonna run out of food, and then we're gonna solve the food problem. And then the next thing is probably trying to solve the materials problem. So let's solve the food problem. Also need 400 workforce. I can get 400 workforce easily within the city. Actually, let's scavenge out from a housing district. I don't need the housing right now. There we go. And then I think for the next research I want, I need another 50 heat stamps, so we gotta save up 50 heat stamps. And the next one we're gonna do is the generic housing unit. It's not very good, but when you've got housing slots in housing districts, the housing unit is not going to make anyone happy or angry, and that's often the way you kind of want to go. Unless there's a reason you have to pick one faction or the other, and the generic one is favoring either faction, so keep both factions happy by pissing neither of them off. Frostlender demands met. Your Frostlanders are delighted you kept your word. They now look upon your rule more positively. Consider your leader with integrity. Here we go. And that has solved the food problem. We have a event here. Ruby King 27 Apothecary. For years, suggesting anything against the captain meant close scrutiny from the stalwarts. But despite the bullshit booming from their bloody speakers, we managed to find our own way, keep our principles, stayed frugal, put families first, watched out for our neighbors, continued our traditions. Now we have a council. Maybe it's time for us to stop dreaming and make a change. The council's inspired the people to suggest new ideas about the city's future. The new faction.
Pilgrims are now officially recognized by the city. Pilgrim
Where are the
delegates
pilgrims?
will be joining the next council session.
Okay, so we're going to want to start off.
Steward.
I'm going to do it the other way around. We're going to raise funds here. Yeah, I'm going to raise funds for them. I'm then going to promote them. And they're not happy enough yet to do their deploy guides. But we now have the pilgrims. They gain members whenever an outpost, settlement, or colony is created. Their relationship with them worsens when the colony needs are unmet. And their attention is increased less from their fervor. This is different from the stalwarts,
Steward.
who are house proud. As New London's population rise, they get happier. Food and good demands are increased the bigger they are. And they always support rule laws. Which, for what we're planning to do near the end, is actually somewhat useful, because that means I don't necessarily need to create a crisis to be forcing some rule laws through. I not clicked it. There we go. Because I took the money from them, I can come in here and we can go for in city housing block. So the two extreme factions have their specific housing. We're going to do neither of them. We're going to go for the neutral style housing block, which both the communities support, which is only plus 10 shelter, but we can build one of these in basically any open slot, whether it's housing, food, extraction, industry, logistics, plus 10 housing, which is half of what a normal housing district's providing. Normal housing district's providing like 20. The normal one provides 20 if we expand it to 25. So half of that. And an expanded one of these has 2 slots in them. So we could do an expanded one and 2 of those housing units for 45 housing. We may want to use the housing slot or the slots for other things, but that's fine. Okay, let's unpause, and our exploration should just about finish here. And it did.
Please in the central district for updated maps. Our scouts have charted new territory.
These queue in the central district for updated maps are Scouts have charted new territories. And here we are. So the desolate coast. Mangled cart. Among the debris is a mangled cart. We found an old navigation log. We can't wander forever. If we can only get through this canyon, then we can set up a permanent base next to the oil. The cart holds a large number of cores. We can salvage it for parts, or we can come back later. I'm going to come back later because I think I want my 20 people. We'll come back to the exclamation point in a second, or last. Oil cistern. A tanker filled with oil hangs in a narrow crevice. It will be dangerous to extract without specialist equipment. So if we have Scout Headquarters building, we can come and pick this oil up with no risk. Or we can send normal people to do it who will have some risk of taking it. Either way, no reason to do this until we know what we can do with oil. And that's what this is. The old dreadnought. A ruined machine lies across a crevice. Wagons spilled in the nearby snow. There are clear signs that people have come and gone from the site, even storing goods here. But what amazed our scouts the most is the huge quantity of readily available oil. This could be the fuel source we've been searching for. We found oil. Oil tombs. Nomads. On the broken shore lies old, derelict dreadnought. It seems to have been upgraded to run on oil, as it rests beside rich deposits. Perhaps the site was a refueling station. But deep in the black pools lie rows of frozen bodies, wrapped in shrouds and placed in the still wells. Our scouts shudder at the sight. These oil deposits will surely solve our fuel needs, but we would have to desecrate these graves to access all of them. We're going to respect the dead. I don't need the disease effect from interfering with the dead here, so we'll let the dead lie in peace. We will only access the vacant oil deposits. Black gold. Oil will save the city, but we need to adapt or generate to use it. In the meantime, we need to establish a reliable supply. It is time we settled beyond New London. Create a colony, the old dreadnought, and connect it with a solid trail to New London. Only then can the city be assured. Topics can now be researched. Oil deposits discovered. And we need to connect a path, which is going to take my 20 Frostland teams, which is why I wanted to keep the Frostland teams available and not take the cores back right away. I need 9 more heat stamps. Okay, so go grab the cores because I need the week to get the heat stamps, let's just say. To build the road, to set up the colony. We are about to have an influx of resources. Both of our temporary extraction depots for prefabs are soon going to run out. And when we disassemble them, we are going to get heat stamps and prefabs from the scavenge. Okay, we are back. Got our 50 heat stamps, so the road can now be built. And there we go. The road will be done in 2 weeks. May need more resources at that point.
The council has convened and awaits the steward's proposal.
The council can convene and awaits my proposal. Law proposal, propose a law. And which law? I could do food as it is. Not necessarily a rush. Probably want to do a choice on surplus heat. The paid essentials would be tempting as well. Yeah, we'll see. Let's pop in on you. What do you want? Research, mobilize, pass survey exemptions. I'm actually going to agree to do that, because assuming that's up for option, that means it is immediately available. Here we go. There we go. I don't think I can come around to do another... Oh, I can do another promise. Give me another promise, please. Paid essentials... Yeah, we'll do paid essentials. Okay. This will give us a little bit more heat stamp income. We are going to propose this. I think I should try to get one of the factions on side, just to guarantee that this passes. So either the Newlanders or the Frostlanders. I think we'll, if I can get something good from the Frostlanders, we'll do it. Do it with the Frostlanders. Moss filtration towers, research moss filtration towers, grant them the agenda or expedition support. Don't actually want expedition support. So, grant agenda or research moss filtration towers. Don't need it yet, but I suppose I can do research moss filtration towers, so we'll agree to that. That gets me 1 vote short, but the hesitance will provide me at least 1 vote. So that'll work.
The proposed law has...
Okay.
Steward.
Now, we're not yet at funding time. Oh no, didn't I ask for it recently? Usually it gives me a cooldown estimate on that. Maybe it's like just a couple days out. That's what's going on. Oh, that's fun. I want raise funds, which are 4 weeks out from. Yeah, that makes sense. I suppose I can start doing some frost breaking. While we're waiting. The approach.
Our scouts filled in another blank spot
Our scouts
on the map.
filled in another blank spot on the map, they say. Start the disassembly of that extraction depot. Get that frostbreaking going. And in the newly explored area, we have a crashed transport, an old coal-hauling crawler half buried in the snow. It appears the transportation's navigation devices were tampered with, and its charts were inaccurate. Graffiti has been etched into one side. The new London leeches. Regardless of what happened here, the coal is ours for the taking. And we'll actually come back for that later. I want to check to make sure I have storage capacity. I do. So, that later is now. Take the coal now. Collect the coal. And then we have the whale mine. Possible cement. Multiple pods of whales froze here after being pursued by humanity's last whaling vessels into the freezing harbor. The scouts are amazed at the sight of massive bodies made pale by the ice. Finally, I found my white whale, a scout commander jokes. No one laughs. Years ago, the captain set a team with machines to bore through the ice and mine out the whale meat. We can take the machines back to New London to assist our extraction, or send a new team here to finish the job. So if we take the machines, we get an efficiency bonus, or we can establish the whale mining outpost, which is what I want. But we don't need that set up right now. What we do need is I have my crew. It is time to send the colonists. So in 15 weeks, we will have the old Dreadnought colony. In the meantime, send out some colonists to take in the Frostlanders, which leaves behind a food deposit. Okay. Program war, mandatory school. Steward. People are increasingly arguing over the curriculum taught in schools. Some think we should reduce the theoretical knowledge and provide more survival training. We're filling these kids' heads with numbers and useless junk, complained an angry trapper. We ought to take them out on the field trips to hunt. Others argue for the exact opposite. We need to teach children how to think and come up with new solutions instead of perpetuating outdated practices, says an engineer. What should we do? So, if I go with the first option, this makes the Frostlanders and Pilgrims happy. We lose the research speed bonus, but gain food. We can concentrate on science for more research speed, or we can keep a balanced approach, which we don't want to do. Yeah, as long as we go with the first or the second one, we get improvement relationship. I'm going to go with this one because I think we want the research speed more. I'd rather not have to build more research labs, is probably a good way to think about it. We currently have a worker shortage until more people arrive. Because we just shipped 3,000 people out to the new site. Okay, so there's the frost breaking done. There's the people. So with the people here, let's re-enable our districts. All the housing districts, so I have an idea of how much housing I have. Okay, so I don't need to turn the food back up because we're apparently making enough food as is. We do want you to be extracted quicker, and if we're going to be harvesting fuel, we should be taking efforts to actually do that in a timely manner. And didn't take from my scout sites. Okay. Okay, so we got 5 left. What interactions can I do with you two?
Steward.
Make promises I can promote you, which you're happy enough I don't need to do right now.
Steward.
I can use you to de-radicalize. Okay. So we want to wait there until we can do the second option, which I need to get to chapter 2 for. So we've got the people we can get for the moment. So yeah, I think we're going to do the frostbreaking. We're going to see, once the frostbreaking is done, if I have enough labor to do the mineral outpost. Slow and steady, so as not to get anyone killed. Although in some ways, because I have future knowledge of what we're doing, I'm able to do things proactively as well, which is helping to actually in some ways move a little faster. I think one of our scout teams got back, so we've got 10 teams right now. We have a deployment order. So that's them heading out to the outpost, I think. The outpost is set up. Yeah, the outpost isn't set up yet. I am a little bit short on people, so if I turn you up, turn you down. Is that more people efficient? Yes. That provides me just enough people I can get my extraction district. And do the one excavation apparently I want, because I need to do that one as well. Okay. That way when we do the expand, I can pick up both those deposits. Out on the Frostlands, let's get our guys exploring. So we've got the Frozen Sea we can explore, the Frozen Ocean, the Frozen Sea and the Graveyard. Let's go to the Frozen Sea. That seems a little bit more inviting than the Graveyard. Okay, so I think that's everyone arriving at the old dreadnought.
The pilgrims offer their services as guides to all travelers. They will share their knowledge of Frostland lore.
Go. And yeah, you haven't actually set up yet. Bit shame that you've gone a bit grumpy. Can I make any promises for you that would be productive? Not really. Okay, so I'm going to decline to promise anything to you. It's too early for a promote. I suppose I was very desperate to get a promise off them. I could freeze their houses, promise to warm their houses, and then follow through. We're not going to do that. So the muted in the back because I paused it was the research lab is ready for its next research project. So we've got a quest to do research Moss Towers, so we'll do that. Meantime, could raise funds from you. It'd only be 94, so that's not actually a lot of funds. And do I really need them? And the answer is yes. Well, soon. Soon I will need them. I don't actually need them yet. We'll wait until I need them. So, squalor is minor but growing. Disease is minor but growing. That should slow the growth of the squalor. I have the heat stamps. We'll do the expand here. Oh, it's going to be like that, is it? Okay, I'm going to have to use a few more workers to do what I want. To expand out either of these sides, apparently I need the 3 expands, even if I'm not going to do them right next to each other. So I need to do that. Put the spare guys back here until they're done. Oh, they've calmed down a little bit by coming up back into neutral on their own accord. That's nice to see. Coal stockpile will be full in 4 weeks.
From all corners of the city, the council gathers.
Okay. Is there any laws I am interested in trying to pass? Could go for food additives. Contagion prevention, surplus heat. Or guard enforcers. What's my odds of passing guard enforcers? Pretty good. Let's go for guard enforcers. So we're going to propose it, and I'm just going to hold the vote. I don't think I need to bribe anyone to come for it. They all like it well enough that I could just ask, can I have the usage of the guard?
Hear ye, hear
and they agree with me.
The delegates have spoken. The law takes effect.
Steward.
So I need the militia. I need the next one for being able to recruit guard from them. But the guard now, I think, help a little bit more with crime fighting. Not that crime is a problem, but we haven't supplied any goods, so crime is going to become more and more of a problem as the city gets bigger. Okay, so now I should be able to build where I want, which I can. There we go. Anyway, at this point, we're waiting for the dreadnought to be ready to go. You know, I'm gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger. Sorry, we're at the appropriate time for the part to come to a close. I was going to wait until we had the Dreadnought going, but we're close enough to the Dreadnought that we'll do the Dreadnought, the setup of the Dreadnought at the beginning of the next part, and then get into Chapter 2. So if you're watching on YouTube, we will have another part up tomorrow, which will be the end of Chapter 1 and the beginning of Chapter 2, I suspect. I don't think it's going to take me that long to get 75 output of oil, although it might, because I might need more people. That might be the problem, is I might not have enough workers to work both Old Town and New Town, let's say. But yeah, we're working pretty good, although we're at population growth, so I may have too many workers. We'll see. If you're watching on YouTube, right up tomorrow, if you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around, but this is going to be the mid-stream tea break where I go make a cup of tea. So I'll be back as soon as the cup of tea is made. And if you're watching on Twitch, good recommendation to go get a drink of your own, whether it be tea or coffee or whatever, while I take the break. And if you're watching the playlist, because reminder to people watching on YouTube, everything that I upload to YouTube should have a playlist of the entire run available in the description. So if you're binge watching this and you're not watching it like it's a daily series, but you're watching the playlist, because you could be watching the playlist if you're behind. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.